It's not lazy, it's just half-ass reviews.
Alright, so Dragon Ball Super's been out for a while now, and I didn't plan on making any videos about it, but I just had a lot on my mind, so I decided I'd put my thoughts to some kind of productive use. The reason I waited so long to start was because I wanted to wait for the series to be well underway so I could binge it. Plus, it's on Crunchyroll now, so I don't have to watch anything on bootleg-ass websites. I plan on making videos talking about every saga once it's finished, and since the first two stories are really just longer versions of Battle of the Gods and Resurrection F, I decided to just skip to where those left off. I know there's minor differences, like Bulma's party being on a ship as opposed to her backyard, but 28 episodes is kind of a lot to get into, and I don't want to stumble across any more spoilers online. But if it really irks you, then watch our video review on Resurrection F where we also talk about Battle of the Gods. Anyway, let's start off with the Universe 6 tournament. I'm not gonna give a rundown of every detail that happens, I just wanted to talk about everything that I liked and didn't like for people who've already seen it. Overall though, I thought this was a very fun saga. Since finding out about multiple universes, it's cool to find out even just a little bit about one of them. And as crazy as it is to battle 5 of the strongest people in another universe for a bet between two gods, the gang never takes it all that seriously since Gohan won't even take time off work to participate. I'm alright with Gohan not fighting since it's really in line with how his character's always been. Even though somebody with Krillin strength should be able to make way more money than Gohan would with his office job. But it's not really meant to be taken that seriously, so whatever. I do wish we would have seen more from people that aren't Goku and Vegeta though. We got to see Piccolo fight, which was cool, but Boo failing the written exam, although funny, was kind of a letdown. And having Monaka as a way to keep Goku convinced there's somebody stronger than him doesn't really make that much sense. Goku already knows that Beerus and Whis are stronger than him, so shouldn't that be enough? It is a nice change in pace though for the Saiyans to be humbled knowing that there's gods much stronger than they are. And it's also uncharacteristic for a guy with as much pride as Vegeta to pretty much fight as Beerus' pawn in a bet against Champa. Then again, he faked his allegiance to Frieza for so many years with plans to become stronger someday, so... I guess it's good to see Vegeta using his brains again, like when he first turned on Frieza and stuck around Namek while trying to avoid him at all costs. And it's also good to see that Vegeta's more or less as strong as Goku again, instead of being left behind as much as he was at the end of Dragon Ball Z, even though his character arc kinda came to an end by accepting Goku as being better. So I guess it is kind of a character regression for Vegeta in a way, but I thought it was bullshit that he gave up in the first place since his drive to become better than Goku probably inspired millions of people around the world to do various things in real life. I always thought that was kind of a letdown, so I'll consider him giving up at the end of Dragon Ball Z as more of a roadblock instead of his story being wrapped up. But back to the actual tournament. The fighters of Universe 6 were interesting and in my opinion the perfect kind of opponents for the gang to have to deal with. I really liked how Hit was the only one perceived as an actual threat. And since they wanted to hide their true strength against him, they had to hold back against the other 4 fighters. It always bugged the shit out of me when they wouldn't be completely transformed and we were supposed to believe they were in actual danger. This is mainly a problem that happened in the all but officially confirmed as non-canon Dragon Ball GT and when Goku faced Oob at the end of Dragon Ball Z. Come to think of it, is that fight with Oob even considered canon now? But anyway, for Piccolo to lose his one and only fight while Goku and Vegeta beat the other members of the Universe 6 team felt like a missed opportunity to me. Wouldn't it have been cool to see Boo or somebody like 18 win a fight or two? At least the fights were fun though, and the opponents are very interesting. But if they let Goku back in after they found out Frost was cheating, then wouldn't they have had to let Piccolo back as well? Not that he'd have made a difference against Hit or anything, but it's still something that should have been addressed. And speaking of Frost, I thought it was pretty cool to have him seem like a good guy of Frieza's race only to turn heel in the end. Even though he really should have killed Frost, I like that Vegeta ended up sparing him, showing that he really is one of the good guys now. And to go an ass hair further, he even helped Cabba become a Super Saiyan in the middle of their match. Going back to the fact that Goku and Vegeta had to hold back against the first 4 opponents made the fights a lot of fun, since if they had to go all out for each opponent, it would have made the fact that they're Super Saiyan gods feel kind of meaningless. Plus it made the fights a lot more interesting as opposed to just being the same old higher power level wins formula that Dragon Ball Z got cursed with in the end. All the fights from this saga felt a lot like the World Martial Arts tournaments from Dragon Ball, and that's awesome. The opponents weren't necessarily stronger, but they had unique ways of fighting, which kept things interesting. And it's nice for it to actually make sense that Goku and Vegeta would be holding back. And not to mention all the handicaps Champa kept suggesting. And even once they got to Hit, it wasn't his strength that was the problem, it was his ability. Again, disregarding the higher power level wins formula. Not that he was weak by any means, though. But it certainly left me wanting a lot more once it was all said and done. As always, there's unnecessary differences with the anime and manga, like Frost not particularly being the most evil guy in the universe in the manga, and Piccolo not using his beam cannon strategy at all. I never really understood the need to change things in the anime adaptation, or to add entirely new stories like the copy Vegeta bullshit that made the Garlic Jr. saga seem watchable. But even though there were some odd changes, I still had a lot of fun watching this. And if you like the World Martial Arts tournaments with cool opponents from the original Dragon Ball series, then I'd highly recommend this story arc for you. Number scores are kind of weird for individual sagas, but if I had to grade this, I'd give it a B+. It has some great fights and never takes itself too seriously, with humor sprinkled all over the place, even though it could have easily been dead serious. Let me know what you think in the comments, because I'm actually curious to see what everyone thinks about this. And a future Trunks Saga video will be up soon, so if you're not subscribed, why not press that button, you bimbo? And if you are subscribed, thanks! More videos coming soon. Now frig off!